Hey, this is Notser, and we're talking World of Warships, developer blog stuff. This time, a couple gameplay adjustments to some ships, a name change, and a map adjustment. First off, let's talk about the name change because I'm sure a lot of people are happy about this. The France will not be named France, the Tier 10 French battleship, which it currently has that name, placeholder. The new name is République, or Republic. I might misspeak and say Republic. Sorry. It's a good change. It makes more sense historically. I approve of that. I love that stuff. I'm a history buff, so I really do appreciate that Wargaming listened to the community. The community is probably more attuned to this stuff too, and it's great that they did it. Don't really have much more to say. Only thing that might be confusing for people is if they see a France first impression video. Wait, that never was introduced to the game. It's actually République, and yeah, that's what happened. France became a republic. So, speaking of French battleships, we've got the Premium Tier 8 that's also receiving some changes, not in name. Gascogne is going to get better rate of fire, going from 30 seconds to 28 seconds. This is the Premium Tier 8 with 8 guns and 50% in the front, 50% in the rear. So very similar to the Tier 10 République, and that's a good analogy. It's very similar. It's just Tier 8 and not Tier 10, and it doesn't have the same strengths. Its rate of fire isn't as good. 28 is better. Does it make it good enough? Probably not, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But we'll see. It'll probably bring it up to, 48, 49, 50% maybe, and that's acceptable for wargaming. Is it a completely dominant Tier 8 battleship? No. I don't think so. The awkwardness is that you have a significant amount of your guns facing the rear. Same as the front. Damn it. Same as République. I'm telling you, I'm going to accidentally do it, and I'm just really sorry. So, yeah, 28 seconds. You can improve the rate of fire with some module that you can with the Tier 9 and the Tier 10. So it's going to be 28, unless you have a Drill and Rush. And that's going to give up a ton to the Tier 8, 9, and 10 of other lines. They'll have a more significant amount of guns facing forward. We'll have to see if this really works. I tried a secondary build, wasn't impressed at all. They improved the accuracy. The guns didn't really feel better. They're improving the rate of fire. This is the next step. They want to have it done, and they want to make sure that it's something that's attractive to people to purchase. Is it enough? Meh, I'm pretty meh on the change, honestly. I'm curious to see if it actually, my opinion is meh. But what if it makes it a 53, 54% win rate? I don't know. I would like to believe that my knowledge of the game would say, well, no, it's gonna sit there. It's gonna be interesting for people who want more of the Tier 10 gameplay and maybe a premium format, but most players will be completely happy with Richelieu and Dunkirk for that sort of gameplay that they're seeking for a premium and also the standard Tier 8. So that's my opinion on the Gascogne rate of fire change. Maybe not enough. Maybe it needs to go to 27, 26. But that would be pushing it for them. I think they don't want to touch that. So, whatever. Another ship that is receiving adjustments, and once again, these are all work in progress. These stats are not final. The name change is final, but the gameplay adjustments are not. The Premium Tier 8 Japanese destroyer that I was testing, Asashio, that I basically called the worst destroyer design they could ever introduce in the game because it's so toxic in so many ways. Such as battleships recognizing, oh, these torpedoes, they're god tier. They are quite literally designed to kill me. It's the hardest of hard counters. It is equivalent to an aircraft carrier going after a destroyer at the very start, and this is probably a Japanese destroyer. They have no chance. They are dead. You know, aircraft carriers were supposed to be good against battleships. No, they're actually good against destroyers, and that's what they were designed to do. At least that's what it feels like with the current implementation. So battleships are going to be less inclined to stray from the pack, go forward aggressively. They will want confirmation that this villain is destroyed. And conversely, with terrible gun systems, I'm not going to go forward and mess with DDs or cruisers. I'm going to play the flanks, I'm going to avoid the objective, and I'm going to try and be stealth the entire time. That's what's going to be the legitimate playstyle of the original version that I tested. Now, having said all that, they are nerfing the concealment of the torpedoes. The detection is going from 0.7 to 0.9, which is effectively making it a 5-second reaction time versus 4. That's not a lot of adjustment. It's still ridiculous. It's just not going to be like a 95% chance to kill a battleship. It's more like a 90% chance. It's going in the right direction. I still feel like it's too harsh, but it's work in progress. Other adjustment, since they're nerfing the torpedoes a little bit, I mean, it's a very slight nerf. I mean, nerf is probably a loaded word. They are adjusting them down. That would be a more fair way to put it. The buff is turret traverse and rate of fire. The traverse is going to be improved on not only the Asashio, but also the Hirokase. The Hirokase has a stock hull. This is the one with sort of the standard Japanese 127s. They have pretty poor traverse. That's getting a buff. The Akizuki gun systems and the Benson gun systems are not being adjusted for the Hirokase, so don't interpret that. The Asashio is also improving its rate of fire from 9 seconds to 7 seconds. So that the reload is going to be better. It's not going to be the worst by a country mile. It's only going to be the worst by an urban kilometer. And this is sort of me discussing my point of view on this. I get you, Wargaming. I know what you want. A ship that sells well and is balanced. And maybe that's what you're going to get in this version that you're about to give us. A 20-kilometer range anti-battleship, apocalypse weapon with terrible guns that can't defend itself against DDs and cruisers, and it always dies whenever it sees it. The problem is that the data might suggest 50% win rate, but playing it, it's going to be this experience of extremes. And I don't think that's really healthy. If I have no incentive to go against enemy DDs or cruisers, I have quite literally no hope of survival, I'm not going to engage them. I'm going to play on the fringe, and I'm going to hunt down battleships. I'm going to be that typical Japanese, everyone knows this person, this Japanese destroyer that avoids the objective, goes on the edge, goes on the fringe, and tries to get over to the enemy aircraft carrier or enemy battleships camping in the back, and that's all they contribute. They do maybe 50, 100,000 damage, and they feel like they're a superhero, but they didn't do anything for the team, anything for the objective, and the XP bears it out, but players still don't listen to that. Why would you introduce a ship that encourages that? That's incredibly toxic and unhealthy. My solution, buff the guns, make them the best 127 millimeters that the Japanese have to offer. The turret traverse is still going to be the weak point. That would give it differentiating against the Pan-Asians. This would encourage you to engage DDs and cruisers to risk the ship in a 1v1 or play the objective because, hey, they're legit, they do damage. The torpedoes would still only damage battleships and aircraft carriers. However, you would nerf the range of the torpedoes from 20 kilometers to 15 or 12. Why? 20 kilometers encourages a torpedo accelerated build. You can't even see the ship render at 20 kilometers. Why would I have it damage the target? I'm never going to see it to even send torpedoes. So people go torpedo acceleration. Obviously, target's not even going to render at 20 anyway. This encourages you to use a dedicated premium commander, which sucks. You can't use it as a trainer legitimately. You give up power. I hate that. I think everyone hates that. So if we could see just some improvement that moves closer to my envisioned version of it, I think it'll be a healthier version. I'm curious what you think. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.